be shocked if we maybe get another one. I mean, all of these competitors, diamond level, I mean, they're destroying the diamond level boss with ease. I mean, that is one thing to point out. None of these guys have even lost a crystal. So it's going to be Andrew versus Austin in our final matchup. And we're curious to see if 3 or 4 crystals seems to be about what the sweet spot is for the winner.
That seems to be about what everybody's hitting right now, yes.
I'd be really curious. I mean, we've seen sort of the strategy. We talked about tanks. I mean, even Isaac mentioning that he would have been more useful with his energy elixir, and that the boss didn't deploy as many tanks. So we've seen, as he said, and it was true, we've seen a ton of titles, a ton of water champions from the boss. We'll be curious to see if these guys are going to load up on lightning attacks early, or if they're going to maybe load up on wind champions to counter those water champions, because that's kind of what cost Jake, was he couldn't counter those titles quick enough early in the game.
Absolutely. All right, let's listen to Austin.
Yeah, let's hear their pre-game interview.
All right, folks, I'm here with Big Papa Z here at Black Box VR. Got a few questions for you, Austin. How long have you been doing fitness?
I've been in fitness 15 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that's quite some time. Have you ever struggled with fitness at all, like in your past?
You know, I've gone from different sport to different sport. I've done everything from triathlon, Spartan racing, and everything kind of in between. So this is a whole new adventure for me.
Right, it's a whole new ball game. What do you say is the hardest part about fitness, like in general?
You know, it's consistency. Just sticking with it, having a routine all the time that you can go back to. That's brutal.
For sure, definitely. And what would you say is your favorite part about Black Box?
The competition. I love getting in. The battles every time you get in. There's a new opponent. There's new challenges. I love the competition.
Right on. Me too. And moving into today's battle, what are your thoughts on the battle today that you have ahead of you?
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
Gonna be tough. Well, how do you feel about your opponent? You're going against Andrew. He's one of the top guys here at Black Box. So what are your feelings going towards going against him?
I'm definitely the underdog today. Definitely the underdog, but we're gonna give him a run for his money.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Well, last question. We'll wrap up with this, Austin. Where do you see Black Box VR taking you in the future as far as like fitness goes?
You know, from the Spartan racing now to Black Box, just continuing myself as an athlete. So I'm going to push myself in a whole new way and hopefully be a future Black Box athlete.
Right on. That's what we like to hear. Well, thanks, Austin. Good luck with your battle today.
Thanks.
I'm disappointed for our last match of the night we didn't get some epic trash talk.
That's true.
I mean, we've had, you know, this guy's going to be easy. We've had loser loses his job talk, and then, you know, I'm respecting, hey, it's going to be a tough challenge. But come on, you're the underdog. You got to say something to maybe fire up Andrew, maybe distract him a little bit going into the matchup, being like, hey, I can't believe he talked smack on me. And then maybe he's like, oh, wait, you know, I'm not all the way in. So, yeah, I mean, you heard it there. Austin going to be a little bit of an underdog against Andrew. So curious to see who's going to come out here on top. It's our final match of the night here in the 2020 Winter Invitational Tournament for Black Box VR. That doesn't mean we're done. We're just trying to get down to the top 8 competitors. And, of course, we'll eventually crown a champion. So I'm really curious to see if it maybe is Lightning Tigers, if it's just a ton of rock dudes, how they manage their energy elixir. There's a ton of, you know, strategy behind what looks like just a simple workout game when you first get into it.
There really is. And if you haven't played a lot of strategy games, sometimes this can be a little bit of a catch-up for you. But we always love helping people figure out, you know, the best strategies and the decks that they should lay out inside of their apps before they go in. So, again, we just try to make that so it is something that's approachable from all backgrounds.
So we see here how we started 16 competitors, and probably the first time you can truly say that they are putting the sport in e-sport, because there is a lot of physical activity going on. Of course, you could see it with the competitors, with the cams, and just how hard they are working. So we've already had 3 really great matches, a couple of them coming down all the way to tiebreakers. You see right there the win conditions. Most crystals destroyed. If they are tied, we'll go to higher score differential, as in how much higher their score was than the boss's score. And if we've had a tie on that, which we've already had tonight, we'll go to total volume lifted to have an overall champion. We've seen everything. We've seen just a normal finish. We've seen a double tiebreaker. We've seen 1 tiebreaker. So I have no idea what to expect. They might even tie in volume here in our last match, and we just roll a 12-sided dice at this point, as we see a little bit about Kamiko, as we heard in our post-game interview. Definitely focuses on the lightning attacks. and summons a ton of titles, and Aquafist really focuses on those water champions. So it makes you do a ton of wind attacks yourself, which are super effective against champions like Tidal and Aquafist. Yeah,
she's definitely going to keep our competitors utilizing those rows and those lats throughout these workouts.
Yeah, I'm curious to see the tower strategy, because that's the other thing that I think is really unique about this is not only do you have the champions, you also have the towers that you can summon. We've seen a couple guys just bang them out and immediately throw them on the field because they last through the reset, and some guys have built them up and then saved them for when they needed them the most. So I'll be curious to see what Austin and Andrew want to do here in our final matchup of the night as we kick things off. And I think, as something that I've noticed, early defense is going to be key here. You don't want to lose a gate in the first few minutes like we saw in our last match, because Kamiko comes hot and fast on that right side, particularly with a lot of those title champions. You can see already one coming down against both of them.
Absolutely. I mean, again, she is consistent in her approach here, but I think Austin was great just having a tank ready just to go right outside of that right side.
Keep your head straight.
Use that tank to prevent his gate from taking any damage. Austin, Andrew just trying to power through with some rows. Has the supercharge there, so he'll sacrifice some damage, and he actually maxes the rep, so he's going to have to change exercises and let that title just kind of beat on his gate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch his strategy here.
I think he's got, yeah, there's an Aquafist and a title that are both punching down on his gate. Now he's going to go for the rock dude here, probably summon it to absorb some of that damage. Meanwhile, Austin has dealt with the title, has a ton of energy elixir. He's actually going to throw down his own title. First time we've seen someone opt for the water tank so far that isn't Kamiko, at least.
It's true. Title is a trusty one. I actually prefer having a title and a rock dude in my deck at all times, just because title costs a little bit less to get out there and he's a little faster on the pattern. So if you just need to get a tank out on the field, he is a good one to go with.
He looks like, can't tell through the reps what exactly he's tanking, but he's definitely tanking potentially another title based on what I can see on Austin's screen. And meanwhile, we see Andrews recovered. He's got a rock dude slowly working his way down the field towards that left gate.
Yep, going with the Scotty combo since his rock dude's out there.
This is the Firehawk from Austin. Going to put that one behind his title. Who's currently battling another one. Did that Firehawk just get deleted? Yeah, it did, unfortunately.
Yeah, some birds just don't have the type of health that you really want them to, just because they have that advantage of being an aerial unit.
Now, we have seen some competitors wait until the boss, who is also forced to change attacks, to spawn one out. So maybe for Austin, maybe could have waited a little bit for the boss to be forced to change attacks, because, yeah, that Sunbird, as you mentioned, doesn't have as much health because it does have the aerial advantage, and that's wasted energy elixir, and you probably don't want that early on, because right now his right side gate is getting just obliterated just by the boss at this point.
It really is. It's not going to take too much more.
25 reps is the maximum.
And he's maxing out on his reps, which not even going to get hysterical since we're still waiting for that to come online. Takes a little bit for it to charge up, so he's going to have to opt for another Sunhawk. Hopefully this one lives longer than the 2 seconds, if even that's how long the other one lasted.
And he's got a title coming straight at him.
2 titles, one in each lane.
Oh, yeah, she's being efficient.
Maybe you use your Firehawk here and just clear the whole lane, maybe?
I mean, it is tempting. It's a little early to do it, but it's hard not to want to when you got 2 tanks. But right now in the first round, his power-up's not going to be available to him.
He's going to summon a Lightning Tiger to try and at least distract the boss a little bit. Load up the lap pull-downs for the super effective damage against the title. Fortunately, just stuck for the machine to get ready, so he's going to lose some gate health. And right now, first time we've seen her go both lanes at the same time. Usually we've seen her focus down one, so he's got to defend both sides. We see that the right gate's very low. The left gate's still pretty healthy for Austin.
Yeah, definitely focusing on that right side there on that title. That's the best way to go right now. But his gate's getting dangerously low.
I think if the boss queues up attack, you see the ice shards ready to go. He might lose that right side gate. Meanwhile, Andrew's not in a much better position. You can see his left gate's all the way at 30%. His right gate's also incredibly low. So neither of them are really in a great position right now.
They really aren't, especially this early on.
I will say, I actually just noticed Andrew has destroyed a gate. So he's at least got a crystal that he can attack eventually. He loses his own gate, but he's at least got a little bit of an advantage.
You will. This is your chance to show the world who you are.
Double damage bonus.
That's probably the best time to get double damage.
Yeah, that was really good timing.
Austin's lost the gate though, so both players down to 500 points. Unfortunately for Austin, he is not really close to destroying Kamiko's gate. They're both about mid-70s. So once Andrew survives this threat, if he does, he'll be able to attack directly on the crystal.
That title's definitely going to be in his way, so he's going to have to take care of that if he wants to start doing direct damage on Kamiko's crystal.
I think he's going to actually lose his other gate too. First time we've seen Kamiko take down both gates. So now he's going to have a fully exposed crystal to deal with. We have yet to see the boss take down someone crystal, which would be just absolutely detrimental because it would force a full reset. You lose all that progress, and he does get a rock dude out, so that should help a little bit.
But definitely, if I was Andrew right now, I would be sweating.
He's got to, it looks like he's going to try and use all that energy elixir he's stored up to try and get as much distractions on the field as possible. Now queue up an exercise. Looks like Austin's gate on the left side also incredibly low. Has the supercharged squash. I don't know if it's going to be enough. If not, so now he has an exposed crystal that's already in 67% because he hadn't had his right gate for a while. He might actually lose his crystal here for Austin, which would be absolutely just awful for him.
It really would be. It'd be the first one we've seen lose a crystal, but this is definitely the first pair that we've seen lose two gates like this.
Work those glutes and hamstrings.
Yeah, good news for Andrew at least. He is also attacking Kamiko's crystal. He has that left side gate destroyed. He's gone with the standard strategy we've seen a lot of competitors do. One rock dude, a couple of Scotties just sitting in the back line, not have to worry about any sort of damage, and now he's just going to try and go to squats and just try and blast down that crystal, and it looks like he should probably get pretty close here. If he can go to the hysterical reps, I think he should get it, and that'll be a huge advantage for him to not only take the lead, but destroy the first crystal of this matchup as well, and he gets it done.
Absolutely.
See, unfortunately for Austin, he is still just trying to defend his crystal. It's all the way at 30%. Now the boss is just going to direct target it. He might actually, unfortunately, lose this crystal here.
You know, with Andrew's 1,000-point lead there, it's really putting Austin at a disadvantage.
An early lightning tiger, not something we've seen very often. Andrew's going to deploy one out, probably just wants some damage. And yeah, we see, unfortunately for Austin, he's now lost a crystal as well. So not only is he losing to the boss, but he is going to have to reset. He's going to lose all that progress he had on that gate as well.
Be smart with them.
I wonder what he wants to go for if you're Austin. You need some sort of miracle round here for him if you want to catch back up.
Yeah, you can tell he's thinking this through.
I mean, maybe, you know, we've seen the Rock Dude, Scotty combination come out a lot. He's going to go with Title. We haven't seen very often, but bad news for him is that the boss for Kamiko has very high lightning attacks, do super effective damage to that Title, so it won't live as long as a Rock Dude.
And with Kamiko putting out so many water units on the field too, it's just a Title's just not going to be as strong against it.
He's going for at least double Lightning Tiger maybe, just trying to put up as much early damage on that gate. We see that much as we've seen throughout the night, the early aggression when the crystals reset going to Kamiko for Andrew. He's trying to defend that right gate once again. Both players really loving these Lightning Tigers right now. Most we've seen from either player using them is he's got a Rock Dude, he's got a Scotty, now he's got a Lightning Tiger on the right side for Andrew. So he's definitely also trying to put some damage in on that opposing gate.
Yeah, this should really help him and protect that side. With that gate getting down in the 50%, you just want to be real careful.
It's like the it looks like the minions have just been putting in some work, because the left gate for Andrew, for the boss, is at 50%. So unfortunately for him, his champions aren't on the right side, and it looks like, you know what, Kamiko's going to say enough of that. She's actually going to call in her own Firehawk and just clear the whole board.
Well, at least at this point, we know that Kamiko doesn't have another one of those up her sleeve.
Yeah, for Andrew, his only disadvantage is that you see both of his gates are below 50%. He focused on the right side. He had a ton of minions come out and put in a lot of damage on the left side. So that damage being split could come back to cost him. We see another titles coming out here from Austin, and he's done a good job defending his gates early on. So he should be able to maybe get a gate of his own here very soon.
Austin using the Lightning Tiger.
With 2 titles charging him down, Andrew's going to build up a fire tower. Interesting choice from him. I guess wants to maybe stop those titles in the future.
You are taking them out quickly.
The Tesla Tower would be a better choice, but a fully armored fire tower is definitely going to give him a lot of help.
Just once in a lane to select it, and then
Steric will come out from Austin with squats on some nice base defense, so won't be able to use a lot of that damage, but he's going to be able to do it to get the gate down. So he's got the title and the Scotty on the right side. Looks like he might have hit max reps. And is he going for squats again?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I mean, if he just maxed reps on Hysterical, why not, right?
If your legs aren't tired.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he's not even halfway through the battle. And we've seen fatigue be a real big factor for a lot of these competitors, where in the last 10 minutes, there's a lot of, catching your breath, trying to use as much of the downtime as you can. So don't want to panic, maybe, since he lost that early crystal and run out of steam in the last 5 minutes. He should be able to burn through this, so maybe the double squats was the right choice. Buys himself a nice little break.
Yeah, there he goes.
Yep, using that downtime to catch some water. So he has tied things up. Bad news for him. Point differential probably not going to be on his side, and we do see that Andrew on the right side has an exposed crystal that he can start attacking. So Austin about a half a round behind or so, and a double damage for Andrew, so he's going to be able to power through this crystal pretty quickly.
And luckily, with having this extra tower on hand, Andrew can protect that right-hand gate that's getting dangerously low.
For Austin, champion already at his gate, and a tower, it looks like, from Kamiko. This is probably the meanest she's been to any of our players tonight in terms of what she's been able to do to Austin, taking not only down his crystal, but a ton of early pressure as well.
She is really pushing Austin around.
Forcing him to do... No, it doesn't look like that's the squats. It looks like that's the...
That's the deadlift.
The deadlift, but still putting a ton of pressure on him with the ice attacks, and he's been pulling them out. And it looks like Andrew took down a crystal, so he's got a pretty sizable lead here, just about halfway through our last battle.
He really does, and Kamiko only being up 1,000 points with Andrew there. I think Andrew's got a decent buffer.
First time we've seen the strategy of spend all of your energy elixir right at the reset. We've seen a lot of the competitors, they'll use that 1,800 you get when the round resets. They'll take down a bunch of enemy champions and then put out a whole army, but he's going to go with a rock dude right away to try and take down that tower, or at least take a majority of the damage for him.
Andrew choosing to go with the heavy option there. And he's going to use a grenade.
Really going to take down all those towers. Looks like there's an Aqua Fist in there. Might be a Torture. There's a ton of action going in on the right side for Andrew that he's eventually going to have to deal with here.
I'm wondering if Austin's going to be a little less panicky now that he's tied up with Kamiko at this point.
And doing a good job defending his base from that title. Should give him a ton of energy elixir if he can take it down. Looks like he will, and then he'll end the rep. So he's going to have maybe 2,000 or so. See if he wants to spend it. Looks like he is going to do just that. Looks like he's gone away from the titles finally. Looks like that's the wind tank he's going to call out on the field there. Maybe deal with those titles a little bit better than we've seen Kimiko just have a ton of.
I think honestly Big Sue would be just the way to go for all of this, which I'm going to make my own notes.
Taking some, all right, Kimiko, make sure Big Sue's in the lineup. Everything is going to be water. That's the nice thing. We get a little bit of advantage. When we make it to Diamond League, we'll know exactly what to expect.
Exactly.
See, I'm really happy that the Lightning Tiger build is a thing. Because I was like, all right, do I want to waste my coins on Lightning Tigers? And we've seen Andrew, I think we saw Josh do it earlier as well, where they just kind of spam Lightning Tigers and let them sneak past everything. So I'm really glad that that strategy's working out. You can see for Andrew, he's got 2 Scotties, he's got 2 turrets, he's got a Lightning Tiger. He's going to just burn through this Crystal for Kimiko pretty quick, I think.
I think so as well. And honestly, I actually get a lot of my strategy advice from Andrew. He's been playing Black Box longer than I have. He's been with us for a long time and just has really got a good grasp on a lot of the cards and who to use and which ones to switch out and with everything. So definitely a good brain to pick if you're ever in the gym. You bump into him, ask him how to set your deck up.
I mean, he played this perfectly. He's able to take a nice 45-second breather because he's just going to let his Scotties and his towers do all the work for him. I mean, absolutely well played by him. And not to mention, first time I think I've seen Kimiko did no damage to anything of his. I mean, he played that round perfectly with those 2 towers that, as you talked about, last indefinitely until they're destroyed. They don't get destroyed by the reset like everything else does.
And they're very handy that way.
Well, for Austin, he does have a gate down. He's got supercharged. He's gone back down to the squats. Oh, I think he dropped the handles, unfortunately. So it's gonna force him to reset. So
he might be getting gassed at this point. He did push really hard on those back-to-back squat sets.
Yeah, he has been. You can definitely see maybe what his favorite exercise is because he has leaned heavily on those squats to try and get him back in this competition. Unfortunately for him, Andrew, who, as he mentioned, was going to be a hard matchup. The right side just looks just like an absolute minefield of blue for him, and Kimiko's not been able to do anything to it. It's both the turrets are still up. There's a Scotty just chilling in the background. Has that right side set up perfectly.
He really does, and it's just and we've seen how she just comes down the right side like she does every time. It's a good strategy to go with.
Finally going to lose a tower. So it's going to open it up just a little bit. Still hitting hystericals, though, too. Andrew's done a really good job of being able to pace himself. Looks like he'll summon. Now he's going to bring the Rock Dude out. Curious if he has enough built-up energy to make another tower with how long those other ones lasted. Well, it doesn't look like he's quite that close, unfortunately.
No, he needs to do a few more fire exercises at least to get to that fire tower.
Well, he's got a Winja deployed against him. Well, he did. I was going to say he can do fire exercises against the Winja, but that Rock Dude just kind of handled business. We're seeing why a lot of the competitors either used him or we've had him mention that they wish they would have brought him to this matchup.
I mean, even at a low level, he is actually very handy to use. He takes longer pattern, more elixir to get out, but definitely worth it.
Does look like Austin has taken down a Crystal. So he's keeping up the best he can. Still down 3 Crystal to 2, unfortunately. So he's going to have a little bit of work left out for him if he wants to try and catch up in these last 10 minutes. Still has the Firehawk, so maybe he deploys a Firehawk here, wipes out the Title and the Torture that are walking down the field, and sets himself up nicely for a nice little catch-up first round, potentially.
That would really put him in a better spot all the way around.
Trying to deploy that Lightning Tiger.
He's going to use a Berserk.
Just to power up. Looks like his own Title in a Lightning Tiger. There's another Lightning Tiger coming down. feels like he's maybe setting up for a Firehawk here and just wants to have everything down on that other side.
There it goes.
That was a really brilliant strategy there by Austin. I mean, he's might make up some time here. I mean, that gate is falling incredibly quickly. Meanwhile, for Andrew, with the round reset, has taken down a gate, so he's now attacking a crystal himself, so he's going to make it a little bit harder for Austin to catch up. He's summoning a ton of lightning tigers on that right side for Austin, trying to burst through that gate. Pretty low. It's at 4%, so he should be able to get through it. He's not going to be able to attack the crystal.
There he goes.
Andrew's got the crystal for Kamiko at 58%, but he's got to go into guys in his face. So looks like he'll summon his own Aqua Fist. First time we've seen that all game that someone besides Kamiko uses an Aqua Fist.
And he is a good go-to for a lower point level. He's kind of a Aqua Fist would be a mid-range. Doesn't cost quite as much, but can deal a decent amount of damage.
Another Lightning Tiger deployed by Andrew, so he'll have that Aqua Fist and Lightning Tiger down there. Does look like Austin took down that gate, and the look like the two Scotties are putting in work. He should get this crystal down, so he's going to get his third and catch up briefly to Andrew at least.
The blue team destroys the red team's crystal and has earned 1,000 more points.
Unfortunately for Austin, Andrew's fourth crystal is at 20%, so he's going to take the lead back very quickly here.
Yeah, it will be a short victory there for Austin. But he worked very hard to catch up to this point.
Now losing, first time we've seen Kamiko take down somebody's crystal, he was able to rally, catch up all the way back to Andrew just for a moment. Looks like he's going to do another Sunbird here. Hopefully this one lives longer. Sunbirds haven't had the best of days out so far. Been focused down pretty quickly by Kamiko.
He does make short work of them.
I really like Andrew's strategy. He's played this out perfectly where he has gotten like long breaks of just knowing, hey, if my champions are going to overwhelm our crystal, I can just kind of stand here and catch my breath and set himself up nicely, maybe even take down what would be a fifth crystal after he just got his fourth one there, and has a pretty decent lead over Austin. Austin just got his third one down, so he's still got to get through a gate and a whole lot of crystal here in the final 7 minutes.
I think there's a lot of benefit to having those little bit longer breaks that are unexpected. You can get your wind back, get your strength for another burst. When you're scrambling and panicking, you're just using up a lot more energy.
He's got a title chasing him down, some of these Spark Crows.
Keep your head straight.
And he's just going to start spamming Lightning Tigers. It looks like he's going to go on the left side now. He's got a Scotty out there, and he's just going to start spamming the Lightning Tigers, trying to do as much damage to that gate on the left side here pretty quickly for Andrew. Deerwear is hysterical for Austin, so he's putting in a ton of work off screen right now, trying to keep this game close.
Absolutely.
25 reps is the maximum allowed.
They even hit max. I mean, max reps in the final 7 minutes is pretty impressive. He's still got a ton of, managing his stamina just as well as Andrew. Unfortunately, trying to catch up from his earlier crystal destruction that he had against him. There are a ton of Lightning Tigers right now for Andrew. He's letting these Lightning Tigers do a majority of the work for him, which is really, really impressive. I mean, he's got the Scotty and the Lightning Tigers. He might take down this gate here pretty soon on the left side.
Definitely. As Scotty's just staying right on it.
Got his overhead press ready to go. Can't quite see the health. It looks like it's maybe 17. Actually, he destroyed it, so it was actually lower than that. So he's got the gate. Now that crystal's wide open for all those Lightning Tigers and that Scotty to just absolutely tear apart here while he just tries and destroys the Torturer against him.
I'd say Austin made an impressive recovery.
Yeah, he did. I mean, the fact that he's able to get back to 3 crystals, unfortunately, he's trying to defend his base right now. If he can get that, maybe he can set up for something in the last 5 minutes. I don't know if he'll be able to catch Andrew, who's now working on what would be his 5th crystal, and have to think that would put the game away with Austin only at 3. But Austin, he said, he's come back from utter disaster in the first 5 minutes of losing his crystal, being down 1,500 points to Kamiko. So I'm really impressed with how hard he's been able to fight back, especially with the squat usage of just back-to-back hysterical squat reps, which is just incredibly impressive.
Yeah, that is a lot of stamina.
The Rock Dude out as well to deal with the title. Slow him down at least.
Keep your head straight. Just glance at the lane to select it, and then face ahead during reps.
Should be able to get the title. Wonder what he'll do with that extra energy elixir, because unfortunately for Austin, he's also very much in risk of losing that right side gate again.
This is true.
Andrew's just content to spam Lightning Tigers. He's got Kamiko's crystal at 12%, so 2 or 3 Lightning Tigers here would be enough. Actually wants to go with the Spark Crows this time. Interesting choice.
Those are one of his favorites.
Probably didn't just want to go for the multiple Lightning Tigers, just finish off the crystal. Guess he believes his 1 Lightning Tiger will be enough. Has been taken out. Now he's got a lot of champions in his face, unfortunately, that he's got to deal with right now.
Yeah, Kamiko was really able to get a lot pushed out right there.
And unlike what we've seen earlier, it looks like it's actually all 3. We've got 1 Aqua Fist, 1 Winja, 1 Torture, so there's not going to be one attack that you can do that's going to be super effective against all of them, like when we've seen her stack up titles. And Austin's got double damage. Maybe he goes with squats, or it looks like it'll be the deadlift, and maybe just try and rush down a gate or a crystal.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do. Obviously, Austin's powerhouse is going to be the water element, which would be legs. You got double damage time, load in your strongest one, and really go.
Yeah, he's got a title, a Rock Dude. Looks like his 3rd Lightning Tiger he's going to summon down on that right side. Just destroyed the gate. Could maybe even things up here at 4 crystals aside. Now we know that Andrew has his 5th crystal incredibly low.
Let's get our revenge by pushing extra hard.
Yeah, going back to, you mentioned the frost attacks, his strongest, just trying to get through this crystal. But it does look like Andrew has taken down his 5th crystal, so he's probably going to be able to pull this one out unless Austin has an insane burst of strength to get through this crystal and another one in the next 2 minutes.
Which would be next to impossible, but
he's got 1. 2 minutes to get through a gate and a crystal.
oof.
That's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be pretty tough, but he's got a chance here. Unfortunately, I think even if he does that, I think the crystal he lost earlier in the game on the point tiebreaker would actually cost him. But if he gets a 5th crystal here, I mean, even with the loss, that would be incredibly impressive to be able to do that much damage that quickly and see what he wants to do. Another Sunbird. Those have had 0 luck for him, unfortunately.
They really have.
I wonder maybe if he ignored those earlier on, if he might have been a little bit closer, but he'll throw one out and just try and distract the boss maybe.
Andrew's got a lot happening on that right side right now.
First time we've seen Andrew have a decent bit of pressure in his face. It is an Aqua Fist and a title, so he's got the Spark Crows out for the super effective damage. Maybe he can go with a either a row or a lap pull down for the rest of the super effective damage. Just a lap pull down for the AoE, at least, on the 2 water champions.
Looks like he's going to summon another champion.
Austin's back on the squats, getting hystericals with 45 seconds left. He is trying his hardest.
I think if we had an award for the most squats used, it would definitely go to Austin. Guy does not skip leg day.
No, that I am incredibly impressed. Not only that he went back-to-back squats, but he got a hysterical with just 40 seconds on the clock. I mean, yeah, that is phenomenally impressive. I mean, he might be able to get a gate here. I mean, he put a ton of damage into that left side gate. That Sunbird actually getting a ton of value this time. I think he got the gate down. I mean, he tried all he could to catch back up, I'll be honest.
He really did.
Came oh so close.
It looks like Andrew's just watching the clock run out.
I mean, 5 crystals for Andrew. He's got to feel pretty confident. 5 is on the higher end we saw tonight. So congratulations to Andrew. He'll be your victor. But yeah, I mean, most squats, almost biggest comeback for Austin. And that was incredibly impressive to lose a crystal and then fight all the way back to keep it pretty dang close against Andrew.
He really did. That was an impressive match.
So probably the great way to end it here for our portion of the night. Don't forget, this has all been supported by Bang Energy. If you're looking to something to fuel your next workout or a hike, if you want that sustained energy as well as peak mental and physical performance, Bang is the energy drink for you. Bang Energy, potent brain and body fuel. Big congratulations to Andrew on his victory. We'll have to see if it is him or Austin that is going to have our post-game interview. But a really impressive showing from all 8 competitors we saw tonight here in our Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational.
Absolutely. I think this has been absolutely great to watch. Yeah, I'm going to look forward to seeing everybody at the gym again and encouraging them. So there'll be lots of high fives and elbow bumps to go around.
I'm really excited to see the top 8. I mean, because, I mean, this was just the top 16. I mean, we haven't seen some of the competitors. We only featured 4 of the 8 matches. So I would love to see who's going to eventually be the champion because these guys are putting out just insane amount of reps. I mean, as you said, Austin probably did like 4 or 5 hysterical reps with his squats, as we see there. Andrew, the winner. We covered all of the left side games, so we have seen Andrew, Preston, Isaac, and Josh all advance. Those look like Chus Westerberg and Mr. Mojo have advanced on the right side. We aren't able to see those games. Maybe we'll see them in the next round, but a big congratulations to them doing it off stream. But it's been an awesome night for Black Box VR that I was talking to some people, and they really want to be able to get this into an esport. And I think that, you know, if you play a video game, it's pretty easy to get into esport. This really puts the sport in esport.
It really does, and that's what we want to do.
Let's get to our last post-game interview of the night here as we wrap things up from the Winter Invitational.
All right, I'm here with Andrew, post-battle interview. A couple questions for you today. Andrew, how do you feel about your performance today?
I think my performance was good. My strategy going into it, I wasn't as prepared as I needed to be, but next time.
Okay. Well, that leads me to my next question. Is there anything that you would have done differently?
I would have set up my power-ups better. That's the big thing. So I would have had berserks instead of grenades. That would have helped a lot.
Oh, okay, so you had grenades instead of the berserk power-up. What grenades did you have? Supercharged at least?
I think it was just basic grenades. So
just basic grenades, folks. All right, well, tell me a little bit about the boss that you faced today.
Okay, so he used a lot of tidal, so he's pretty heavy on water. He threw out 2 fire towers, 1 lightning tower, so that helped him a little bit, but thankfully my guys were able to combat that pretty well. Other than that, it seemed just his main focus was water and lightning.
Okay.
So.
Well, good deal. Thanks for the time today, Andrew. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
Thinking he could have maybe gone for 6 crystals. I mean, he seemed like he was like, dang, I wasn't as prepared as I wanted, because the berserk power-up, you throw down a bunch of lightning tigers and you use a berserk, it seemed like you could rip through a gate pretty quick. I think somebody did that one of our earlier matches.
Yeah, that would have changed things a lot for him and possibly given him an extra crystal.
But he didn't need it. He was the winner here, beating out Austin. So a big congratulations. As we see here, our top 8 starting to fill out. Looks like Andrew and Preston, a pair of competitors we saw, will be taking on each other, as well as Isaac and Josh. So be curious to see who is our last matchup we're still waiting on. Is Chuck Westerberg and Mr. Mojo have also advanced. So can't wait to see the top 8 get filled out and just how intense it's going to get as we get down to the championship of the Black Box VR 2020 Winter Invitational. But once again, if you haven't checked them out and you're in Boise, Zion's Bank Building, if you're lucky like I am, Amber will hook you up there and get you all ready to go, and it's going to be a blast. You're going to go to the gym and you're not even going to realize you're going to the gym.